TTH Racing Academy. I'm going to do a quick lap guide of Kyalami. The first lap I'm just going to show it in car, and then I will go to an outside view and then talk you through the brake markers and lines and whatnot to try and get a best time. So I managed to do a 1 minute 42.4 with safe setup with no changes on the car, so that more or less gives you guys an idea on what type of times you can achieve with the safe setup with no changes on it. Okay, so the fast lap will always start with the last corner before the start of the lap, so it's always important to try and get that last corner nailed so that you can get nice speed down the straight. Okay, so it's going to be the onboard. Take note of my throttle and brake inputs as well as my steering inputs so that you guys can see more or less how you should take the corners and steer the car. Okay, as you can see, that was a 142.4. Okay, I'm going to take you back to the start. We're going to change the camera view to the chase cam so I can take you guys through the lap. Okay, so start finish, you can try and stay as tight as possible around this kink. Okay, in your first turn one, very important to get your brake marker right here. So you will see I brake more or less about 10 meters before the 100 line, achterboord. You have to brake hard, and as you start getting to the corner, you can start turning in and then come slowly off the brakes. So you can see there. Just going to go back a bit, make it a bit slower, and there. So you start brake 10 meters or so before the corner. Okay, accelerate, try and keep left, come tight into here, clip that curb, And this corner is quite tricky. You want to try and stay as wide as possible into this corner. Brake very lightly, and make the steering straight so that the car settles, and then you turn in and try and clip the apex of the next corner. So I'll first do it quick and then I'll do slow-mo. And use all the track that you can. Okay. So watch the pedal inputs. Yeah, they brake a little bit and then just coast in and accelerate as soon as you hit the apex. Stay wide. I think it's just important to quickly show you guys the brake marker inside the car as well. To keep low and go far left, and once I see this wall more or less past the car here, then I start braking. See, I brake and then you coast in, wait for the car to hit the apex and then you accelerate. Next corner also very tricky. Try and stay left as far as possible. So this is a long right-hander in third gear. So you will see around about by the 50 board there's a dip in the road. So you're just going to go over that dip, turn in, but while you turn you will brake, and most of this corner you will coast through and just touch the throttle every now and then if you want to get some speed out until you see the exit of the corner, and then you can accelerate again. Coast, 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 and then accelerate. Just quickly off speed. So you use all the track you can. Just after the 50 board, start turning in, brake light, and you coast. Coast, 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 and accelerate. Okay, next corner, not too difficult. Your brake marker is just before the 100-meter board. Brake hard down to second. Again, the McLaren likes to coast through the corners, so you want to try and do all your braking beforehand and use momentum to coast through the corner, because it's quite a high downforce car, so it likes to coast through the corner and use its downforce rather than using the throttle and the brake to steer the car. Let's brake hard down to second, turn in, try and do not hit these curbs too much. Use all the track on the exit. Accelerate to third down the straight. So the S's is quite difficult, but this sequence of corners are all dependent on your turn into this next corner. So you will see there's the red and white curbing starts. That's your brake marker. You will brake hard but not too long, and then immediately turn in so that you can hug the inside of the first S, but try not to hit the curbs too hard because it will upset the car and it will spit you out. Brake. That's about the maximum amount of curb that you want to hit. So you accelerate quickly, and then for the next S you will just lift completely, wait for the car to turn, and accelerate again. and then it's full taps all the way up. Okay, next one is quite tricky to get your line and brake marker correct. So the line that you want to try and aim for is this tree here. So you've got a big tree and then the board and another tree, so you're aiming for the middle tree more or less. And then your brake marker is this little Marshall stand on your left, so you want to brake just before that. Also hard to first gear. Okay, and try and accelerate as quickly as possible and trust the car on the exit. Okay, and then it's full speed down here. No need to lift. Okay, yeah, the 100 mark board is your brake marker. You want to brake hard as possible and also again coast through this corner. Try and hit the apex. And you can accelerate as quickly as soon as you can, because the corner opens up quite a bit and you can go wide onto the curbing. So it's important to try and accelerate as quickly as possible to get good rundown to cheetah. You can see you've got nice runoff here that you can use. I didn't use much, but you can almost go full car off there. Okay, cheetah, the most difficult corner on the track. If you get it right, it's awesome. If you don't, it completely spits you out. You have to avoid the inside curve at all costs. So this turn is all about timing, and that comes with practice. But what I do is I use this red and white curbing on the left as almost my point at when I start timing my turn in. So I sometimes just tap the brake, other times I don't. But just after that curbing, you turn quite aggressively to try and hit the apex and make the corner. I tap the brake and then I turn in. Okay, and here, this corner, you brake just before the Marshall stand. Don't use the brake marker if you can, because sometimes the guys hit that board and then you can't use that as a brake marker anymore. So try and use the Marshall box to get your brake marker. So you want to brake just before that, or to first gear, and then try and hit this corner's apex and accelerate as quickly as possible so you can carry as much speed as possible down the straight. And that's a lap of Kyalami. I'll quickly go inside the car again and talk you guys through it. Okay, so again, just brake before the 100, brake hard, down to first, coast around, accelerate as quickly as possible, keep left as much as possible, just keep that curve a little bit, and brake lightly, turn in, accelerate, use all the track you can, move over to the left, just after the 50 board, turn in, brake lightly, coast, 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 and accelerate. Brake again just before the 150 board, turn in, accelerate, just before the curving, turn in. Yeah, I went a bit wide. And for that middle tree, brake hard to first gear and turn in and accelerate. 100 board, brake hard to first gear, and accelerate quickly. Use the curbing. There we go. And brake hard again. Turn in and accelerate. And that is a lap around Kyalami. If you guys need any help or if there's any questions, you can ask. But I think with the next session we can probably start going through your guys' laps and I can assist where we can. Thank you.